Dear spectators, 5 minutes.
Well, a very good morning and welcome to day 3 of competition at the Baku Grand Slam. We're going to start by taking a look at the top fighters, the top picks that Loretta Cusack-Doyle has got this morning. Loretta's got a nice run through there. Loretta, good morning.
Good morning, and I'm really excited about this final day. We've had some fantastic tournament, but today, the 78 kilos, Hersha Stenhouse, she's the number 1 seed, world ranked number 2. She's world master bronze medalist in Paris at Grand Slam, took a bronze medal. She's got to be the top favourite for a medal, but she's in a very strong weight category. She's got the number 2 seed, Verek of Netherlands, number 9 seed, and has a gold, silver and a bronze in the World Championships. This will be a real head-to-head if they get to meet each other. But you can't rule out Abigail Dew.
Yeah.
Number 3 seed, world ranked number 10, and at the Olympic Games took 7th place. But we've also got in the under 78s, we have the plus 78s, we have Larissa Šerić of Bosnia and Herzegovina, number 1 seed, ranked 9 in the world, and she's obviously looking to follow her success in Düsseldorf, where she picked up a bronze medal in that. But Kayra Serit of Turkey is the number 2 seed and ranked number 11 in the world, 5th in the Olympic Games and current European champion. So that will be her main opposition in that weight category. For the men, we have Noel van Dient, number 1 seed from the Netherlands, a former World Masters bronze medalist, and but this is his first time back since the Olympic Games, so it'll be interesting to see what his form is like. But he will have some major competition, but sadly, one of those big oppositions is out of the tournament, Nemanja Majov of Serbia, and sadly he failed the random weigh-in this morning, so he's out of the tournament. But we do have the home favourite, Mamedel Meidiev of Azerbaijan, 7th in the Olympic Games in Rio. He's world ranked 22 and he's the number 1 seed. So this is going to be one that the Azerbaijanis are looking for as a favourite for a medal today. Under 100s, the hot favourite for gold for the Azerbaijans has got to be Elmar Gazimov, Olympic silver medalist, and will be entering in we'll be hoping to follow his success, and especially the team success of the under 81s yesterday that we've seen with Rafet Ismailov, who took the gold medal, and that was a
impressive,
fantastic finish. But he'll obviously be wanting to join him with that gold medal here today. But we can't rule out Michael Korel, bronze medalist in Düsseldorf, and Tomai Nikiforov, who also won the gold medal in Düsseldorf a fortnight ago. So a tough weight category, a very interesting one in the under 100s. Plus 100s, well, we have Rafael Silva of Brazil, number 1 seed and double Olympic bronze medalist, and picked up this year a bronze medal in the Paris Grand Slam. So he'll be hunting for a medal here, but hot on his heels would be Barna Born of Hungary, and he's the bronze medal in Düsseldorf, and also 5 times. We have 5 times Grand Slam medalist Roy Meyer, which again is another hot favourite for a medal and a contender for that title. So interesting judo happening today, and we're looking forward to see how it all pans out.
Okay, we're going to start by taking a look at the contests on mat number 3 in the under 78 kilo category. In the opening contest is Melina Skadua of Brazil. She faces Gonel Hassanali of Azerbaijan. It's Skadua in the white judogi, Hassanali in blue. The contest is just underway now. I haven't seen either of these competitors before.
Well, they're pretty new to the circuit. Skadua from Brazil, she is world ranked 94. She's 21 years of age, and she's got 2 continental places under her belt at this moment. So she's really a new introduction from the Brazilian team, just coming out of the juniors, and now they're just dipping the toe in the water to see how she fans up for the next 4-year development towards the Olympic Games. Hassanali, she's 20 again, another youngster. She's only fought in 3 major events. So again, this is a real tester for both these athletes, and see how they perform today.
Newcomers. There have been a few at this tournament. Most of them have been the men.
Yes, there's been
these two. I can't remember having seen either of these.
Well, we've got some as young as 18 fighting today. Cadet European champion and European bronze medalist, and cadet world medalist, and 18 years of age, and he's making his debut here for this Grand Slam. So the Brazilian, as you can see, is left-handed. That lapel sleeve that she is opting for. Very slow start with both these athletes. Hassanali working with her feet. Kosota trying to break her opponent's balance. Not really effective, and it's just a matter of putting the attack in rather than picking up the Shido, but needs to put more of an effort into those attacks. Both of them are a very slow pace and very slow start in this first round, but not surprising, because straight knockout and one mistake and they're out of the tournament. Well, Skadua there, as you can see, now and again with that left hand, keeps touching the cross lapel, her own cross lapel, which is a bit of a negative grip, and it's like more of an avoidance for her opponent to take hold of that lapel, and she's got to be careful, because it seems to be a bit of a habit for her, and she could, if the referee spots it, she could pick up a Shido for that.
I can't remember who it was on the opening day that had that habit as well. That began to annoy me a little bit. Shouldn't, it's just a habit, but.
And it is, it's just a lot of the time it's generally a habit that they just place their hand in front of the chest and touch that lapel. But it looks like they're trying to block, and the referee will penalise it if he notices it's happening on a regular basis. When there's a Sodi following on from the drop Cianagi that we saw earlier on for the Brazilian. And like I said earlier on, the Brazilian 21 years of age, the Azerbaijan is 20, just either out of the junior circuit and just heading out. This is their first introduction to senior, and there's a counter attack there. And Hassanali there takes the Wazari for that counter, and that's with 32 seconds, the timing couldn't have been better for her. Well, both athletes are starting to look a little bit tired out there. Both opting for sleeve grips. With 13 seconds to go. Skadua there really doesn't seem to have much to offer as far as a comeback, a drop, very poor there, and a very tired young lady. Well, the second Shido was presented to the Brazilian, but with 1 second to go, it's not going to make much of a difference here.
He did want it on the board, though, didn't he?
It was on the cards a lot earlier than that.
I don't blame him. The referee wants to keep things neat and tidy, make sure that his instructions get heard. And he said, I want that Shido to go on the board, even though time's expired. Put the Shido on the board.
So Skadua goes through to the next round. Hassani goes through to the next round.
Well, coming up next, Anastasia Turchin of Ukraine faces Yoshimura Shiori of Japan. Turchin in the white judogi, Yoshimura in blue.
Well, this is going to be a little bit more of a tougher competition here. You've got both these athletes again. Turchin, 22 years of age, ranked 30 in the world ranking, and Yoshima, 23, and she hasn't actually got a world ranking. She got 5th place in Sofia this year, so this is more or less like a debut into the Grand Prix in the Grand Prix circuit. Turchin, though, 7th place in Dusseldorf.
Yeah, she's been about a bit.
So she's been around, under 23 European champion in 2016. And in Sofia, she took 2nd place, so.
Yeah, she's one of the nicest competitors on the circuit. Turchin, she's got herself in some trouble here, though.
Yeah, Yoshimura there,
Top
lovely
half,
bit of
just
niwaza
the foot
there.
now.
Controlling that head, as you can see, she's climbing up her opponent's body, piling the pressure on the upper part, controlling that head
well.
nicely, but yeah, the leg was
had the
caught.
foot trapped well. There's the experience for you. Couldn't block the turnover, but she was clever enough to trap the leg. That
Yes.
saved her, because the top half was pretty good. Yoshimura's come up with a nasty scratch on the nose there.
Oh,
Ouch.
yes.
Ooh.
Well, that will sting, but I'm quite sure the adrenaline that's pumping through this young lady, she won't be feeling any pain.
Yeah, she got quite a bump. Managed to tidy it up now, though.
Well, they're just cleaning the mat there and making sure everything is tidy before starting.
Sometimes if you get a nosebleed, it's from the inside. They can just, put some tissue up there and that's blocked. But it looks as though she got cut on the outside. Those ones are actually harder to stop, because you've got to have something on there to stop it. You've got to cut. Whereas on the inside, you just put the tissue in and off you go.
And the skin now is soft.
Yeah.
And it's warm. So for any plaster to go on there is not going to stay.
No, it's not going to stay. And that one is hard to tape up, because you can put the plaster on, but you now need to tape it. And the tape has got to go all the way around the head to hold that plaster on. So it looks as though, you've got some major injury. It was just a little cut. Anyway, I think it was that this one was on the inside. And Yoshimura has decided that she's going to do her own blocking of the nose.
Sometimes it's better because they can feel themselves.
She knows,
the experience that they've had, and
it's not a pleasant one, is it?
Sometimes it's not. You just want to stay in that zone, in that competitive, and you don't want all this fussing going around you, and you really just want to get back on that mat. But at this moment, they don't seem to be too happy of what's.
It's right down at our end. She's got one of the best doctors looking after her, because it's the Azerbaijan team doctor. And I've known him for about 6 or 7 years, so he's a really, really good guy. And he was previously in boxing, so he
So
knows all about cuts.
Yes, definitely. And he's more or less saying, well, we'll deal with it afterwards, but let her get
Yeah.
back on that mat. And I'm quite sure
He's also
Yoshimura
saying
wants to.
He's also saying if it starts bleeding again, we're going to need to tape it up. He's already
Yes.
indicating that they should get the tape ready. Right, we're back
Touching
underway.
there with that big long arm that reached over the top. Looks very dangerous. But then again in the Niwaza, and Yoshimura there trying desperately to turn her opponent over. She's got the arm under the stomach there, but just Turchin was too strong there and held a good base in the ground.
First round for men over 100 kilograms, tatami 2. In white for Bosnia and Herzegovina, Harun Sadikovic. In blue for Georgia.
Turchin there, real advantage as far as height is concerned. You can see that left hand, she throws it over, looks very powerful indeed. And the Japanese really struggling a little bit, but she hooks in with the Ouchigari and switches it for the Uchimata. A nice combination, but really didn't have the upper body control. That the Ukraine with that left hand was blocking nicely enough to avoid her balance being broken. Again, you can see that left hand getting thrown there. She opts for the lapel, but she's got those long legs that she can reach in from any distance. A Makakomi attempt there. Yoshimura putting in the attacks, but they don't look very strong on a finish.
First round for men over 100 kilograms. In white for Georgia, Uran Tushishvili. In blue for Azerbaijan, Ayhan Jafarov.
Oh, Turchin's got her hands full here. Nice effort there. See, here's the difference. Yoshimura has got some nice looking efforts, but Turchin's got experience, and she quickly countered that because Yoshimura almost went over there.
Yes. Well, Yoshimura, she's got a lot of experience. She's she's world champion in the under 21 junior world championships back in 2013.
Just hasn't got the picks. You see, at 78 kilos, you've got Umeki Mami, Sato Ruika. There's a few of them there. Who's my favourite? Ogata Akari. They're all way, streets ahead of Yoshimura, so she's not going to get a look in. She's probably 6 or 7 in Japan. Anyway, she's getting a good look here.
Well, this is an opportunity for her. A medal here would actually put her up the rankings at home. And as the hosts of the Olympic Games in 2020, a medal here would be quite nice to start that progression up for selection. Oh, lovely switch there.
Yeah, see, she's got some little moves and
Got
stuff.
a nice flow of her judo when she's open. If that left hand doesn't come over from Turchin, she's actually got, and she's able to move. She can change directions quite nicely, and she has the Ochi-Uchimata, she has the Ashiwazas, and we know that all the Japanese are very clever with their feet, and they're one of the most successful techniques that they can use. Oso Tagari into a Makakomi again as she tries to rotate her opponent over off her back.
She's got a poor record against the Ukrainians as well. She defeated Victoria Turks a couple of years ago when they fought in Sofia, but she lost to Anastasia Turchin later on in that competition, and the only time that they've gone head to head. And she fought Turks again at the Tokyo Grand Slam again in 2013. She's done all of her judo back in 2013, so I'm not sure what she's been doing since.
There's the Osoto Makakomi there. Not as tight. Starting now, she's starting to look a little bit tired, and the attacks are starting to become very loose.
İkinci tedaviyede evet onu 100 kilogramdan yukarı çekti. Birinci merhale.
Yoshiyama there with the Uchimata. And her favourite technique is that Uchimata. She gets most of her success from.
Close to coming up with a score there. Well, she may have lost the last time they went out, but Yoshimura.
Well, she's working there again in that groundwork. She's desperately trying to rotate her opponent over her own body, following it through into the Osakomi. A lovely little bit of Niwaza there, and secures the Osakomi. Well, touching there from the Ukraine was starting to look very tired in that golden score, and Yoshimura there capitalised on that. Some nice bit of Niwaza, rolled over opponent, pinning her securely and taking the win.
100 kilogramdan yukarı çekildi.
Yoshimura needing almost a minute of golden score, but Tajin wasn't sharp enough. There were a couple of opportunities that she had to counter Yoshimura. She didn't come up with it, and as the contest went on, Yoshimura's greater technical skills, although we didn't really see them on there, I just had the feeling that she had better technical ability. She got herself into nice positions. She didn't come up with the big techniques, but she was just beginning to wear Anastasia Turchin down. And I was about to say that we haven't seen her. We only saw her in Nivaza once. It was just enough to give us a flash of it. Turchin managed to trap the leg. The second time they went down there, this was in golden score, she finished her off.
Yes.
So maybe that's why, she's been out of the Japanese team. She just simply doesn't have the kind of firepower that she needs, especially at 78, to knock them over. Here is another opportunity for her. She just won her first contest. We'll see her again, and she'll be up against, I think, if we've got the right pools. Have we got now? No, she's in the top half.
She's in the top half.
So she won't be facing one of these.
Yes.
And these, by the way,
the toughest pools are Pool D and C.
Zarina Raifova of Kazakhstan faces Sendayush Naranjagul of Mongolia. Raifova in the white judogi, Sendayush in blue. It's my first look at Sendayush Naranjagul at under 78 kilos. I wonder how she's going to get on in what's a new weight for her.
Just moved up and second in the Grand Prix in Bhutan, and it's just her first move up this year, so it'll be interesting to see the weight difference and the styles of these athletes in the under 78s. A little bit slower pace, I think, the under 78s to the under 70s. Much tougher weight division.
What's the thinking, I wonder, behind that and moving up at 70?
She's very tall. She's strong looking, very compact there, isn't it? Well, you can see her against the Kazakhstan. She's literally a head taller than her opponent, but very powerful looking, even though she hasn't got the height.
İkinci tatavide 90 kilogram çekilecesinde ikinci merhalenin görüşüne demet olur. Avgiyim'den Mehmet Ali Mehdiyev, Azerbaycan.
Over there taking the first Shido.
İslam Respublikası.
Senayush there looking for the Ippon Sianagi, dropping under opponent, dropped a little bit too short of that Sianagi. leaving herself a little bit open there in the Niwaza.
Did you say she'd fought somewhere else, Sendayush, another weight?
Yes, in the under 70s.
No, I mean, but that she'd fought another competition at 78. This is the first time I've seen her at 78.
This is the first time she's fought.
I
So
wonder
the
why
last
she's fighting at 78.
last
then.
result she got was in her Grand Prix. She got a silver. The best result she got in the last year, and the under
Oh, that's
70s
right.
was Ulaanbaatar
Yeah.
on home turf in the Grand Prix, where she picked up a silver medal. Still to gain a medal at this weight category, but it's just early doors really.
We're going to have to chat with Sendayush and see whether this is a temporary move or whether she's thinking of going up there permanently. I don't see the point in it. You know, she's been well established at 70 kilos for a long time.
Yes.
If it is that after the Olympic Games, first round
Yeah,
knockout,
she lost. Yeah.
she's decided let's go up, then a run out at the Grand Slam may not be the best place to.
Yeah, because she lost
to
to the
start.
Georgian, well, the Dutch, I'd say, but
Yeah.
fought for Georgia next to Stan in the in Rio Olympics in the under 70s.
Why would you choose the Baku Grand Slam as to put your toe in the water and see what it's like at 78? Okay, you've got a good draw, Raifafa, but you've got no background in 78. You know you're not going to be seeded. You could have come up here and you could have faced any of the top 8.
Is there a possibility that somebody in our country is dominating that weight a little bit better in the under 70s?
Well,
Has somebody moved up?
Parev Jargal has been there for a long time, and she is going to go. So she may have decided to move up, but there's only one way to find out. I'll go and ask her. Here's Loretta. I'll go and check with Sendayush Naranjagal. She wins out here anyway, so she's through.
She's through, so we'll get to see her a little bit later on.
Through to the next round. Coming up next, Samantha Suarez of Brazil faces Meribam Imamza, beg your pardon. Suarez in the white judogi, Imamza in blue, and I'll find out what's happening with Naranjagal.
Well, like I say, Suarez of Brazil in the white. Imamzada from Azerbaijan. Suarez of Brazil took a gold medal this year in Prague at the European Open. She has 7 continental medals and 2 Grand Slam medals. Well, that looked a little bit of an effortless move there as she was of following directly into Niwaza. The Azerbaijan is 20 years of age and she doesn't have a world ring. This is her first senior international event, and I'm sad to say it did actually look like that, but it's an experience for her. She's on home ground and she'll have had a lot of family support here with her, but up against a tough opponent. And oh, it's nice to see that they are disappointed. It did mean a lot to her to come out here and do her best, but was matched with someone with a lot more experience in this field at this level of competition. But I'm sure she'll learn from the experience. So Suarez goes through to the next round, the second round of the under 78 kilo category. And she'll be up against Abigail Zhu of Hungary a little bit later on. Now we have the plus 78 kilo ladies. Yamokawa of Brazil in the white. Javieva of Azerbaijan in the blue. Nine judokas in this weight category. Čerić being the number 1 seed from Bosnia and Herzegovina, one of the top favourites to winning this tournament here today. Yamakawa took a silver medal in the Junior World Championships in 2015, 22 years of age. And also picked up a second in the European Open. Hajieva, again from Azerbaijan, doesn't have a seed and is 23 years of age and making a senior debut here on this Grand Slam circuit. Drops Cianagi, nice attempt there. Yamakawa there with a Wazari on the board. Hayajeva with a Shido. As you can see again, the Makikomi. So to Makikomi is a favourite technique. Wasn't very well executed there, but obviously it's the first round, it's the warm-up match, and doesn't want to make any silly mistakes at this early stage of the competition. As we know, if you lose in the first round, you're out of the tournament and there's no comebacks.
Second round for men under 90 kilograms. Tatami 2. In white for Uzbekistan, Davlonbek Satorov. In blue for Estonia, Matias Krusi.
Well, Hansoki Maki being awarded, accumulated the 3 Shidos. So Yamakawa goes through to the second round where she'll be up against the number 1 seed, Čerić Larisa of Bosnia and Herzegovina. We'll go across to mat number 2, where we will watch the men's under 90 kilos. There's some very exciting matches coming up very shortly there.
The winner on match 3. In white for the Netherlands, Kirsi Stenhouse. Kirsi Stenhouse will be in the
So we
semifinals
have
for the
here
women
now
under 78 kilograms.
from Uzbekistan, Satorov
The next quarterfinal
in
for
the
women
white,
under 78 kilograms. That number 3.
Kusic of Estonia in the blue.
Albina Amangeldieva.
Satorov, 25 years of age, 1 Grand Prix and 1 World Cup medal. And representing the Estonian in the blue gi is Matthias Kusic, 21 years of age and 7th in the Junior European Championships last year. Just making his first debut into the Grand Slam circuit here for seniors. Ranked 274, so he's just stepped his toe into the senior circuit now.
I'm
doing extremely well. Satyrov there with the first Shido with 1 minute and 56 seconds left in this contest, and a real battle going over here now. On paper, Satyrov of Uzbekistan is the stronger of the two. Doesn't always necessarily work out that way when it comes to head-to-head. Husek there looking a little bit apprehensive, very defensive on, as you can see, with that left hand. Seems to be more controlling and pushing out rather than actually using. He attempts the drop Sianagi, but didn't really have much effect on his opponent.
That number 3, the winner in blue for Japan, Yoshimura Shiori. Yoshimura Shiori will be in the semi-final for
An attempt of Ashiwaza there, but lost his balance. Poor timing on the attack. Savarov, 4 years senior to his opponent.
The next quarterfinal for
Sometimes that little bit of an age difference has such an impact on the physical maturity out there at these weight categories. Well, the Shido now, the second one being awarded to Satyrov. Physically he looks stronger, but he's finding it really difficult. And a lovely, lovely attack there. A real powerful lift. Rotating his opponent over, just couldn't plant him onto his back from there. Satyrov did really well to get off the attack as he tries to follow down in the Niwaza, but he's looking quite tired out there at this moment, as you can see, a little bit disengaged in this contest. Fumbling around there with the strapping on his fingers. It's obviously causing him a few problems. Decides to take that off. Usonian again, circular motion around his opponent, gets the first grip. Opts for that sort of bear hug right around his opponent, lifting again. We saw that earlier on, but this time plants him really well onto his back, scoring a Wazari. So with 17 seconds to go, Satyrov has got some work to do. Has he got anything left in the tank to come back in? It looks unlikely. The body language has been saying that he's been very tired out there for at least a minute and a half now. And he's got 2 Shidos on the board. One more would result in a hand Sokumaki. Well, it's in the golden score anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Satyrov looking very deflated out there, and obviously not the performance that he was hoping for. Kusek goes through to the next round of this men's under 90s. And now we're going to flip across to the, staying on this mat, but to the under 100 kilos, which is the quarterfinals on mat number 2, which is going to be a very exciting match indeed. Very tough one. Corel, number 2 seed in this weight category, a hot favourite for a medal here today. European bronze medalist, 23 years of age, from the Netherlands. Kosoviev from Azerbaijan, Well, the Azerbaijan's picked up a gold medal yesterday in the under 81 kilos. Ismailov, they were absolutely delighted, and it was a nice ending to the second day of this tournament. So this would have given the Azerbaijan team a real boost of confidence and coming into this third day. Kotsoviev there desperately trying to get a grip, just any grip at this moment, but Korel dominating and controlling quite nicely in this contest. The quarter-final of the under 100s. Well, just over half, with the halfway to go. Nothing really in to divide these two. One Judo. And as we know, it doesn't have much of an impact until we get to the golden score. Unless there's a score before there. Well, the second Judo now been awarded to the Azerbaijan. Kotsoviev there. This time he's got that right hand high on the lapel, close to that shoulder. He comes in for the Uchimata, but really isn't effective at all. Needs to break his opponent's balance, but this time he walks onto that dropsy and Agi from Michael Korel. Michael Korel had a bye in the first round, so this is his first match of the day. It's a lovely dropsy and Agi once more, but it's just failing to get that final finish and twist at the end of it to put his opponent onto his back. Nevertheless, it's a good attack and it's a real threat for Kotsoviev.
The winner in white for the Netherlands, Marine de Verkeer. Marine de Verkeer will be in the semi-final for women under 78 kilograms. The next quarterfinal for women under 78 kilograms, the times 3. In white for Hungary, Bjorn Abigail. In blue for Brazil, Samantha Soares.
Well, Hans Sokomaki has been awarded for Kotsoviev of Azerbaijan, and Michael Korel goes through to the next round, the semi-final of the under 100s.
Quarterfinal for men under 100 kilograms, the number 2. In white for Belgium.
Now again, another hot favourite for a medal here has got to be Nikiforova, Toma. Took a gold medal in Dusseldorf and European Championships silver medalist last year. So Janic of Hungary last year took the silver medal here in Baku, so no stranger for being in the final in this competition. Sirenics there looking very strong in the Niwaza, putting a little bit of pressure on the number 3 seed. Nikiforov, number 5 in the world ranking. Serenik's 31 in the world ranking, so a little bit behind, but is doing a great job out here at this moment, piling the pressure on this man from Belgium. The Hungarian throwing that right hand high towards the collar. Uchimata's there, Nikiforov, but it was countered, sidestepped off there and scored a Wazari. Now that puts Nikiforov in a lot of trouble. The pressure now is on this Belgium to come back. With still got plenty of time, 2 minutes and 17 seconds. Serenic of Hungary, second here last year in this tournament.
Vigita tabii Turan Sertuliyev, Azerbaycan galiblerine növbəti mərliyə vəsiyə qazanır.
The next contest on net 1.
Nikiforov with the drop, Sianagi driving off. He's left himself down there again in the knee waza. With 1.5 minutes left in this contest, a Wazari up for the Hungarian. And the Hungarian still piling on that pressure. As you can see, that left hand under his opponent's right sleeve, taking the lapel, controlling nicely, keeping his opponent at bay, but what he does have to do is keep that head up. A lovely Osotomaka Komi. A second Wazari scored there, and he follows through. We're looking for the knee waza. As you can see, he's hooked that arm. He's trying to pile the pressure on that shoulder and rotates, lifting his opponent over onto his back and trying to secure the Osokomi, but just lost the control as the flip happened. Judo again being awarded to the Hungarian, so that's 2. One more would result in a hand Sokimaki, so he cannot afford to defend. He has to come out here fighting. He's got 22 seconds to go, and there's another drop, and that's very untidy and very dangerous for the Hungarian right now with 20 seconds left. He has to stay upright, he has to stay very strong, and all that effort of the 2 Wazaris on the board will be worth nothing if he doesn't continue to engage in this contest. Nikiforova is going desperately, but I think is a bit of a tactical ploy as well. He's trying to pile the pressure on. Well, the Hungarian did extremely well to maintain that lead. He was under a lot of pressure in that last 30 seconds of this contest, but he's kept his composure and put himself in the semi-final of the under 100 kilograms. A big disappointment and one of the top seeds out, but we'll see him a little bit later in the repechage, where he attempts to go for a bronze medal.
The winner on net 2, in blue for Hungary, Sirenis Miklos. Sirenis Miklos will be in the semi-final for men under 100 kilograms. The next quarterfinal for men over 100 kilograms, the number 2.
So now we have the quarter-final for the plus 100 kilograms.
In blue for Georgia, Olise Mugatse.
Bore, the number 2 seed in this weight category. 7th in the Olympic Games back in 2012. A bronze medal in Dusseldorf a fortnight ago. And picked up a bronze last year here in this Grand Slam in Baku. Boghazde of Georgia in the blue. Has 2 continental medals. 26 years of age, this man from Georgia. Ranked 67th in the world ranking. His opponent, world 7. So there's a big difference in the world ranking. A lot more experience from Barna Bor of Hungary. Minute and a half gone in this contest. Bora, 30 years of age. Some of his best results were back in 2012, 2013, where he picked up a bronze and a silver in the European Championships. Still going strong here today as the number 2 seed and still on the 7th place in the world ranking.
Well, sorry to have kept you waiting about the information on Sendayush Naranjago. She's not going to move up. She just happened to want to give this a go on her first competition back whilst she's cutting her weight. So she was lying there having her arms, you know, reinvigorated after that pull around that she had. So we'll probably see her back at under 70 kilos once she's back fit, because she did have a serious knee injury that put her out after Rio as well.
Well, that's interesting to know, and it'll be interesting to see how she performs today in this the weight category.
Well, she's got the repechage contest, hasn't she? She's going to be in the repechage. We'll see how she gets on there. I just feel that under 70 is just too big an ask for her. They're
well, she looked quite small in that match that we just seen her with. And
Andrew Suarez, you know, a little Brazilian, give her a little contest. Why not?
well, Boghazde piling a little bit more pressure on Barna Bor, 6 years junior to Bor. Bor has got the first Shido with under a minute left in this contest. Well, Boghazde there made that mistake of trying to come round the back of his opponent. Bor stepped across for that Tayatoshi. Didn't really get much rotation. Failed to maintain the sleeve grip to flip his opponent over. An attempt of a Sutemi Waza there. Really looked more of a ploy to get into the ground and to avoid any uncomfortable grip that he was finding himself in, but a bit frustrating here for the Georgian. Picks up the Judo, so it's one apiece now with just seconds left in the first part of this match, and we'll go into golden score immediately.
The next quarterfinal on match 3 is for the women over 70.
So now into the golden score.
In white for Turkey, Naya Asay. In blue for Lithuania, Sandra Jablonskite.
Bakadze desperately trying to get that right hand high up onto the collar, but it's blocked there, as you can see, with the left hand on his right lapel from Bor. Bor hooking there, looking for that Uchimata. Now he opts for around the back grip for a takedown there. Just didn't have the power to turn his opponent over. Uchimata again, and a Kosota combination from Bor. Well, he's piling the attacks on, which is making his opponent from Georgia looking very passive, and passive enough to pick up the next Judo, which would mean he loses the tournament. He'll lose this contest. Bakadze takes the next Judo, and Bor goes through to the semi-finals of this plus 100s. Now the next match coming up is Meyer from the Netherlands in white, Bondarenko of Ukraine in the blue. Bondarenko ranked 32 in the world ranking, 29 years of age. Up against Roy Meyer of the Netherlands, who's ranked 10 in the world. 7th place in Rio Olympic Games. Picked up last year the silver medal in Baku. And the winner of these two will meet Bor in the semi-final for a place in the final. As I said, Meyer, last year's silver medalist in this tournament. Olympic Games, 7th place in Rio. Well, Bondarenko, as you can see, is controlling his opponent's right sleeve quite nicely, and it's frustrating Meyer. As you can see, quite considerably, he's really unhappy with that sleeve grip being taken. Don't seem to be able to do much with it. Both picking up a Judo now. Well, as you can see there, Meyer has got that grip in place, and he likes the Uchimata, but as you can see, he's plagued by that right sleeve being taken from Bondarenko's controlling it and working off that grip. So just under halfway left in this contest now. A Shido apiece. Bondarenko there with the Oso Tagari, following it through. One of the strongest attacks in this contest as he looks to work in that knee was. As you can see, he's got that arm, he's trying to control it, but Mayer swiftly comes back up onto his feet, feeling the danger that he'd placed himself in. Roy Mayer, 2 Shidos on the board. Has been totally frustrated with that sleeve grip that Bondarenko has been using. Made it very difficult. Well, the best attack so far has come from the Ukraine. As you saw just briefly ago, the Oso Tagari that was very deep. Very unlucky not to score from that. Uchimata, well, it's Roy's favourite technique. That's the first time you've seen it in this contest with just over half a minute left. Kosota from Bondarenko. Really very poor commitment through with the Ashiwaza. So the clock's ticking down and it looks Chigari there, and that's again one of the strongest attacks there from Mayer. Well, 2 Shidos apiece now, and we are going into the golden score. As we know, one more Shido would have been a hand Sokumaki anyway, but both even with the 2 Shidos apiece, so either one of them could be disqualified. So it is about engaging and attacking now in this golden score. As you can see, Bondarenko's got that right sleeve of Mayer, and he's been plagued with that throughout this contest and totally frustrated. Attempts to drop Sianagi, very poor attack. Bondarenko, body language, trying to relay to the referee that it wasn't very good, and what about giving him another penalty? But really he has to be concentrating his own ability and staying engaged himself in this contest. Well, I think Mayer really hasn't been convincing enough on how much he really wants this win and the place in the semi-final, and I believe that he's just going to pick up the next Shido. Third one being Hans Sokumaki, and Bondarenko will go through to the semi-finals. And there we have it. Mayer takes the 3rd Shido, Hans Sokumaki. Bondarenko goes through to the next round, the semi-final of the men's plus 100s.
The winner on mat 2 in blue for Ukraine, Stanislav Bondarenko. Stanislav Bondarenko will be in the semi-final for men over 100 kilograms. The next contest on mat 2 is quarter-final for men under 90 kilograms.
İkinci dada bile 90 kilogramda 4'te 1 final görüşte demet olur. Judo giden Mehmet Ali Mehdiyev Azerbaycan ve Judo giden Uşkayni Margiani Gürcistan.
So we have the under 90s quarter-final. Mediev of Azerbaijan in the white. Margiani of Georgia in the blue. Azerbaijan white, Georgia blue. This is the quarterfinals, the under 90 kilos for men.
In white for the Netherlands, European Championship silver medalist, Guusje Stenhuis. In
Medvedev, seeded number 2 in the bottom half of this draw, the under 90s. 7th in the Olympic Games in 2016 in Rio. Seeded 22 in the world ranking. And just still 23 years of age, just out of the juniors. Magiani there. Well, Medvedev there with the Kosota, climbed on top of his opponent, drove him down into the ground and got the ippon that he was looking for. Well, that was swiftly done and showed all the quality of athlete and determination that he has to get into this final.
İkinci tatamide vaktin evvel galip gelen Mehmet Ali Beykim, Azerbaycan. Yarı final meyresine.
Well, the Azerbaijanis will be quite happy with that. It's one closer to that final of this weight category. Smilov did it in the under 81s yesterday. Rasula there of representing Azerbaijan in the white. Kursik of Estonia in blue. This is the second quarter final in the bottom half of this draw. Rasula don't really have too much about this young man from Azerbaijan. Kursik, we know, 21 years of age, from Estonia, 7th in the Junior European Championships.
The next quarterfinal for men over 100 kilograms. That's number 1.
Bir tatamide devlet olur. 100 kilogramdan yukarı şekilde 4'te 1 final görüşüne Avşdo gider. Durenbaya.
So Kursik picks up the first Shido. 2 minutes and 40 seconds left in this contest. Well, Rasula, as you can see, that right hand that goes round the back makes it very uncomfortable for the Estonian. Kursik tries to back out away from that engagement. Kursik there with the attempt of an Uchimata, falling onto his face, and Rasulu looking for some Niwaza, but really didn't have much option down there. Well, it's been a real battle between these two athletes. Kursik with 2 Shidos as he attempts there the Uchimata. We're just under a minute and a half left in this contest. place in the semi-final of the men's under 90s. Well, the hopping Uchimata, as you can see, but just lost the upper body control. Tried to turn it into a Makikomi, but just really didn't have any control of his opponent at the latter stage of that engagement. Oh, Soto, a lovely attack, very strong. Sadly didn't follow it through. Well, the Azerbaijan has been looking the stronger out there, much more determined, and every attack seems to be a little bit deeper and stronger. Lovely drop Sianagi and following through from the Estonian into the Niwaza. As we know, Kusek has lovely ashiwas as well as one of his favourite techniques, the ashi barai. Oh, Sotogari again, nice attack, very strong, so close to scoring, just loses that sleeve grip. As you can see, he doesn't have that, and the hand goes out and he breaks his opponent's balance. Well, 5 seconds left, and it looks like we're going to be going into the golden score here. 2 Shidos apiece. Well, Rasulo there wasn't going to engage anymore in that first part of the contest. Well, an attempt there of a Sutemi Waza trying to draw his opponent into the ground, but what the aim was behind that, not surprised, not really sure. Very dangerous move for the Estonian. Well, it was a very poor attack from the Estonian, and you always get a little bit nervous when they ask them to tie their belts up and correct their gis. Sometimes you feel that this is the opportunity then to hand out the penalty. And there it is. That Sutemi attempt wasn't good enough, and the referee felt that and gave him the Shido, which is a Hansokimaki. Rasulo goes through to the semi-final.
The next contest on at 2 is the repechage contest for men under 100 kilograms.
Well, that'll be a very interesting semi-final. At least we'll know one Azerbaijan will go through to the final of the under 90s. Medvedev that he will meet in that semi-final a little bit later on. Now we have the under 100 kilo repechage, but just see what's happening on the other mats. Mat number 3 would be a very interesting one, a semi-final between the under 78 kilos, Verek of Netherlands and Yu Abigail of Hungary.
Right, you joined the contest with a minute 40 left to go. Yao Abigail was picked up a single Shido. She had a leg grab. She was blocking an effort that Mahinda Verkerk made. Verkerk stepped onto the mat just as Husha Steenhuis was stepping off, her Dutch teammate. She made her way into the final. So the winner of this will face Husha Steenhuis in the final now. Verkerk picks up a penalty with a minute and a half left to go. Verkerk, number 9 on the world ranking list. Yo, number 10. So really, this is
nothing
it.
in them at all, really.
Yeah. Oh, nice grip here from Yo Abigail. She just can't get the right leg
Got
where
that
she
height,
wants it
hasn't
to.
she? But she's got a cracking Uchimata that we've seen a few times. Lovely as she
Yeah,
was
nice
there,
one.
stumbles her opponent over, controls very nicely and picks up that Wazari.
It's do or die for Yo Abigail every time you see her.
She's 100% in all
Yeah.
the time. She either gets thrown for a pawn or she actually skies her opponent for a pawn.
Well,
It's all or nothing.
she's ended up going over there. I think that's a good score. Verkerk is on the board with a little over a minute left to go. Not quite sure what it is that they feel may need reviewing, but whatever it was, they've decided everything is in order, and we're back underway with a minute left to go. Here comes Yo
Well-
again with that big left arm up there.
Well, Yo can fight, and we know that she's a very powerful athlete, and she will be able to pile the pressure on in this last minute. But Verkerk is a very experienced, strong fighter.
I missed out mentioning Takayama Rika of Japan this morning when I was talking about the top Japanese. We had Sato, Umeki. I mentioned Ogata, but she's a bit of a way down the track actually. And Lada Shuri as well, and they're all ahead of Yoshimura, who we're seeing battling away here today. But Yo's got herself into an attacking position, but
Well, it's that
Oh,
elbow that looks
yeah,
a little bit
awkward,
suspect there. It's
awkward.
the left elbow's up in the air. There's no power generated through it. Just very, very awkward.
it's not going to happen now. Time's going to run out, and it's Mahinda Verkerk who's going to do battle with her teammate Husha Steenhuis in the final. I wonder what happened the last time they went ahead. I have a serious suspicion.
I think it's Stenhouse that
Yeah, Steenhuis got the win, but
the win.
I don't think the contest took place. I think Mahinda Verkerk said, I've got an injury, I'm not coming out. There's no love lost between those two, I'll tell you. It's not a secret.
Really?
Absolutely not a secret. They walked off, one walked on, one walked off as though they, didn't exist. Mahinda Verkerk it is who goes into the final. We've got repechage contests here. We're going to go down to mat number 1 to see the quarter-final between Noel van der End of the Netherlands. He's up against Islam Bosbayev of Kazakhstan. There's no score in the contest, but Bosbayev has picked up the single Shido as time runs out. So we're going to have a bit of extra time in this one. Van der End had a little bit of a scare this morning in his opening contest against the Japanese. He eventually came up with Wazari, and then he finished that off. It's a nice little effort by Bosbayev. He gets down and underneath Van der End and just momentarily threatens. He does again, but it's not as strong this time, and Van der End is waiting for him with the attempted shimiwaza here, but it's across the chin, and the referee calls mate. 21 seconds of golden score gone. Well, Van der Ender's picked up a penalty now. Yes, he's going to score here. The attempted counter by Noel van der End fails. He rolls off the wrong side. And this was Bayev who comes up with the score. Well, in his first outing back, not surprisingly, Noel van der End not looking as convincing as we've seen him in the past. A little bit of a struggle there, and he can't get past Islam Bosbayev. Minor error that ends up costing him dearly when he loses that quarter-final. It's Islam Bosbayev of Kazakhstan who goes into the semi-final. Right, let's see who it is that Islam Bosbayev will face in the first semi-final. It'll be the winner of the upcoming contest between Tural Safgulyaev of Azerbaijan. He faces Kejau Nabali of Ukraine. It's Safgulyaev in the white judogi, Nabali in blue. A little bit over-ambitious from Nabali there. Trying to catch Safgulyaev off guard. Little sit-down Yoko Satemiwaza attempted there. He didn't even really get into it before Safgulyaev managed to block it left. Ojigari from the Azeri, just having Nabali rock back a little bit on his heels as he just shaped for that attack. He didn't give it the full-blooded effort. Nice left-sided Ippon Seanagi from Safgulyaev. Well, the attempt anyway. He got low and underneath Nabali. Didn't manage to get into a good enough position to really threaten him, but it was past the defence. And there he is again, but this time Nabali manages to free his right arm and put that on the mat to block any further progress. What he can't stop, however, is Frank Wolf, the referee, dishing out a penalty for passivity. And Safgulyaev is really piling on the pressure here. Got a nice look to the contest at the moment for the Azeri as he throws in attack after attack, and Nabali isn't able to respond. Well, not as yet anyway. Give another roll of the dice for Nabali as he tries to settle down and come up with a grip from which he can work. He goes over on the left-hand side, on his left that is, and on Safgulyaev's right, looking for the one-sided grip, but it wasn't on, and now he picks up a second penalty. He was on his way to attack Safgulyaev as Frank Wolf was finishing off that penalty, and the referee kind of followed him with the signal. It was an unusual dishing out the penalty. They normally have them standing on one spot to receive it, but Wolf allowed it to continue, and he just followed him towards his opponent. Little under 2 minutes left to go. 2 penalties picked up by Nabali. It's not looking good. He hasn't been in the contest at all, I'm afraid, the Ukrainian. There's an effort that doesn't trouble Safgulyaev. Yes. It's a bit of a chore, isn't it, this one, for Nabali? He was such an attractive fighter as a junior, Nabali, and I had the feeling that he was really gonna do something. Unfortunately for him, it's never really materialized. He's found it difficult to make the move from junior to senior. It just hasn't been there for him. I'm not sure where the shimmy was. It is. Rankvoff is moving around to the front to have a look. Ooh. No. A minute to go then. 2 penalties picked up by Nabali. He's been lucky to stay in the contest. He has a go on the belt. He's hanging on for a little bit too long there. And changes the grip. 2 stabs at that. "45 seconds left to go." Well, if Safguliev has run out of steam, it could be that he'll end up getting overpowered. He hasn't scored yet. Here we go again. Well, it's not looking that clever now for Safguliev. I really like this aspect of the new rules. You haven't scored. Why should I end the contest? Only problem is that it's perfectly possible that Nabali is also going to get given a penalty because he wasn't really doing a great deal. Oh, that was useful. Here we go. Well, if you want to see a beautiful execution of that technique, then Tural Safguliev is going to deliver here. Absolutely fantastic. Got everything in the right place. Nabali presented him with the opportunity for it. It was a weak effort from the Ukrainian, and there you go. Absolutely planted his man here. Right, let's go down to mat number 3 because we've got the semi-final in the plus 78 kilo category. Let's go down to mat number 3. The semi-final between Larissa Čerić of Bosnia-Herzegovina. She faces Tessie Savelcools of the Netherlands. We joined the contest with no score. Čerić has picked up 2 penalties. Tessie Savelcools just the one. We've got a minute left. And the winner of this will face the winner of the upcoming contest between Kyra Sayed of Turkey and Yelisaveta Kalanina of Ukraine. I'll chat about Kalanina when she comes onto the mat, give you my opinion. Both fighters pick up penalties for passivity. Larissa Čerić, having picked up 2 already, ends up on the receiving end of the Hansoku Make, and it will be Tessie Savelcools of the Netherlands to take her place in the final. Well, she walks past Yelisaveta Kalanina, a potential finalist. On the other side, however, is the experienced Kyra Sayed of Turkey. Kalanina will do well to get past Kyra Sayed. These are different types of fighters here. Sayed can really throw. She's still got really good judo skills, and Kalanina is still developing hers. It's taking a long time for the Ukrainians to really get Yelisaveta Kalanina exactly where they want her to be in her development. Both fighters look passive here, to be honest. Kalanina picks up the penalty for an overly defensive posture, but there wasn't anything going on there. Kalanina just happened to be the most defensive of the two. The right leg really has to do more here. A slightly untidy finish to that effort. However, there are improvements in Kalanina's judo. I mean, that's not saying a great deal because we're not seeing the tidiest of attacks from her, but given her start point from volleyball or basketball or wherever it is that they rescued her from, it's a reasonable effort. It's just taking a lot longer than the Ukrainians had hoped. But she may yet do it. You know, the 3.5 years to Rio and to Tokyo. Rio was beyond her. She wasn't ready for Rio, but she may yet be ready for Tokyo. So he's untidy, you know, just off balance, and she's threatening, say it, which is something she would not have done 6 or 8 months ago. And now, whoops. Gonna say. Say it picks up the penalty for passivity. Well, the reason for that is that she's come under a barrage of attacks from Kalanina. Another good effort with Samashiwaza. This is completely different from the Kalanina of 8 months ago. At least she's out there making attacks. They are a little bit sloppy, a little bit untidy. She's got a big frame to deal with, and that's her own frame. She has to learn how to deal, you know, with using her own limbs. There's another effort, but she gets caught by Sayet. I did say that the Turkish fighter was capable of throwing, and she just had to settle. That was all. And she comes up with Wazari. It's not all over yet, though, because we've got half the contest to come. And I just wonder how much fitness work they've done with Kalanina, because she'll have the advantage over Kyra Sayet with fitness. Comes up with another turn, just a turn of the hips to go right-sided, and another Maki Komi. This is really good. I'm going to have a chat with the Ukrainian coach after this to congratulate him on not completely turning things around, but definitely making things look a lot better than they had previously. Everything looks in order. Let's finish off. It's an interesting conundrum for the women in the plus 78 kilo category. It's another good position that Kalanina has got herself into. She's obviously learning now that there are a variety of techniques, 4, 5 or 6 different little things that she's shaped to try, whereas in the past you're lucky to get one from her. This time round she's really made a good effort. And now Nashiwaza, where she gets countered again, we get back to, you know, untidy and sloppy. Okay, but untidy and sloppy from efforts that she's making are far better than, you know, no mistakes at all. And there's still just a single score, a minute left to go. Well, as much as I'd like to stay and watch Kyra Sayet and Yelisaveta Kalanina, we're going to have to go down to mat number 1 because it's the semi-final that nobody wanted here in Baku. Elmar Gazimov facing Elkan Mamadov. The two Azeris are going to go head-to-head. It would have been far better for the crowd if they'd met in the final. However, that's not going to happen. One of them will go to the final. Will it be Gazimov in the white judogi or Mamadov in blue? We'll find out. Spoilt for choice. The Azeris at under 100 kilos. Two top men having to go head to head. That's the way it is sometimes. You invest in your fighters, they do well, which is exactly what you want them to do. Sooner or later they're going to come up against each other internationally. Well, nationally there's no doubt about it, but internationally you hope as on few occasions as possible. We're going to run out of judo down on mat number 3 shortly. That suggests that a similar thing is going to happen on the other mats. It won't be that long then before we wrap things up in this first part of the day. 5 o'clock we'll be back with the final block. It's coming up to 2:30 now. It could be wrapped up by 3 o'clock. We'll see how we go. No score yet between Gazimov and Mamadov. There was a single score of Wazari down on mat number 3, and it's Keira Sayet who makes her way into the final. Kalanana will compete for the bronze medal. That was in that contest that we were watching in the plus 78 kilo category. So that's done and dusted down there. And I will have a chat with both Yelisaveta Kalanina and the coach, because that's some real progress made there by someone who's got the height, shape, body thing of the female Teddy Riner. When you look at it, the potential there is incredible. If they can make the same kind of increase they've made in the last 8-10 months to push judo into it. She's got to eat, sleep and breathe judo and come back with the kind of improvement that she's made in the last 8 to 10 months. Anyway, we're concentrating on mat number 1. Elmar Gazimov of Azerbaijan is up against his teammate Elkan Mamadov. There's no score yet. There's a minute and 30 odd left to go as Mamadov picks up a Shido for passivity. I suppose I'm going to be perfectly honest, I'm just desperate for something to happen in that plus 78 kilo category that can turn our attention there, that is a little bit more attractive than what we've had to put up with for not 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 5 years. It's been a long time. Once in a while you'll get someone who comes along like Tachimoto or Sugimoto, maybe Idalis Ortiz, Tong Wen, who just not lights up the category, but at least starts throwing them around and making it a little bit interesting. But we've been bereft of real talent in there for a really long time. So I don't know, maybe it will be Kalanina. A second penalty picked up by Mamadov and a first by Gazimov. So 2 penalties picked up by Mamadov. 40 odd seconds left to go. It's a shame because we had such terrific contests with the Azeris yesterday, Hidarov and
really
Orozhov.
matches,
and now they've gone head to head here, the 2 big ones. It would have been so much nicer to have seen them against foreign opposition. They've had to do it here, but what it means is they won't have to do it again. The likelihood of them coming up against another teammate is pretty slim, and then the level probably will be one where we'll see that gap. These 2 are so evenly matched.
We've got Gazimov who's number 2 in the world ranking and picked up a silver here in Baku back in 2015, and that didn't compete. I don't think he competed last year. He's 26 years of age. Mamadov is 35, I believe, and ranked 12 on the world ranking.
I didn't realise that he was that old.
Yeah.
He's going to get penalised again there.
So for when you look at his track record, his best years were back in 2013, where he was world champion.
When he took the gold medal. That was in Rio.
Yes, that's correct.
I remember that.
His
Yeah.
strongest time, because he also won a gold medal. But he won a gold medal in the Grand Slam in Abu Dhabi last year, so he's still always around, but he has got some track record and a lot of experience.
There was a lot of controversy when they decided to take Gazimov instead to Rio, but he came back with the silver medal. So
Yes, that was it.
job done. Right, coming on to mat number 1 now, repechage contest in the plus 100 kilo category. Rafael Silva of Brazil faces Ulzibaya Dorenbaya of Mongolia. It's Silva in the white judogi, Ulzibaya in blue. What happened to Silva then in his opening contest? The much vaunted number 1 seed. He got duffed, didn't he? Who put him out? Was it Tusishvili?
Tishishvili. Must have been him that put him out.
I see. Georgian, we might get a Georgian Azeri matchup if we're not careful in that weight category. Tusishvili going into the semi-final. He'll face Ushangi Kokauri. We are going to get that matchup. Borbana has already defeated Stanislav Bondarenko, so it's a Hungarian in the final. But it'll be Tusishvili or Kokauri to do the honours. We've got another semi-final on mat 2, and it is a head-to-head in the under 90 kilo category. Yes, let's go to mat number 2. We'll take a look at that semi-final. It is Mamadali Mediev of Azerbaijan. He faces teammate Abdulhag Rasulu. It's Mediev in the white judogi, Rasulu in blue. We'll keep an eye on what's happening with Silva and Ulzibaya and let you know. But of course, if you want to watch mat number 1, you can just click on mat number 1. Who was it yesterday that explained that? Richard Britton explained that really well to me, how you do it, and it escapes me now. But it's not that difficult to locate on your browser, is it? Richard said it's easy. So click
I'm
to
sure they'll
whichever map you want. There's some
Mediev
little buttons
there's
there.
the second seed in this competition, ranked 22 in the world ranking, 7th in the Olympic Games in 2016 in Rio, and 23 years of age. Rasulu is also 23, and the result we have here, 2016 Pan American Open in Lima, who took a bronze medal. And the referees are trying to get them to tidy up. He's making a bit of a career out of tucking his kit in. Sometimes you think it's just worth taking the belt off and starting all over again.
I always found it harder to tuck it in with your arms,
Well,
getting
when
around
you're
the back
tired
and
arms as well, it's crazy. I suppose that delay just helps the athletes. It's a bit of a ploy to get a rest.
Judo just on the one map now, is it? Oh no, we've still got some going on. When Mediev and Rasulu finish, then we'll stick on map number 1. There are just 3 more contests down there. It'll be 3 o'clock then.
Well, Rasulu had a great quarter-final against Kasuk of Estonia. 7th in the Junior European Championships, and that was a really good match that took him into this semi-final.
Well, as much as I'd like to stay and watch Mediev and Rasulu, Tusishvili of Georgia and Kokauri of Azerbaijan are going head-to-head in the semi-final of the plus 100 kilo category. Let's go down there to have a look at them, because I suspect there are a greater number of people out there that want to have a look at Georgia versus Azerbaijan than Azerbaijan versus Azerbaijan. I'll take the blame for that if that is otherwise. I think that's probably the case, though. Dusishvili, is he going to be the new hope for the Georgians
he's
at plus
20
100?
He took a fifth in the Grand Slam in Paris, and in 2015 and 2014
Wow.
was junior European champion 2015, and also in 2014 in the under
Oh, that is
100s.
nice.
So he's 22 years of age and ranked 49, so he's obviously got to be one that they're pushing forward now to dominate. But they've got such strong athletes, haven't they, and big athletes from Georgia. They've
And
got a good pick.
that, Loretta, is absolutely the case. He's 107 kilos. It's Ippon. He's 107 kilos. And that's why he's moved up, because they have such riches at under 100 kilos. He probably feels he's not going to be able to push out Lipatiliani and
No.
the like. So he can, sort out Shangi, Margiani and a few of the others, I guess. So why not go to plus 100? Right. We'd started watching the contest on Mat 2, but we're not going to go back, and the reason for that is that Mediev leads Rasulu by Wazari with 15 seconds left to go. The likelihood is that he's going to take that, so we'll stay here to watch the repechage contest between Noel van der End of the Netherlands. He faces Kejal Nabali of Ukraine. It's van der End and the white judogi Nabali in blue. Superman is Noel's nickname.
Superman.
There's a very good reason for that.
Well, this Ukraine, we've seen him many a time on this circuit. The Grand Prix circuit is very, very strong. Quite a dangerous fighter, because good, strong, fast pace in his attacks all the time. He's there, as you can see, that left hand that throws over the top.
And if you click on judobase.org and you go to Noel van der End, you'll see why they call him Superman. Looks just like Clark Kent. He's a good-looking young man.
He's a handsome lad.
He
isn't
is. He's a handsome
25
boy.
years of age.
Van der End, and he's built like, the kind of cover that you'd want to have.
Built like Superman.
He is built like Superman. Well done, Loretta.
He's
I was
built like
trying to be, I don't know, either diplomatic or careful. I don't want to mislead anyone at home. But he's got a terrific physique, absolutely terrific physique. I believe that his girlfriend is also an extremely highly accomplished athlete that many of you at home will know, but I'm not going to mention her name.
Oh, that's got to be top secret.
It is top secret.
There's an attempt there for Van der End, the drop Cianagi. Decided he went in so far and then decided to come out, which is always very dangerous to do.
But the secret is very much in keeping with the whole Superman aura, Rustam Orozhov was in the shot there, having done the business yesterday. Well, at least he took a medal. He did make the crowd happy. They wanted that medal yesterday, and he delivered, albeit a bronze rather than a gold. Never mind, he still ended up going home winning the last his last fight. That's always important. And then there was compensation. It's compensation on paper, but in reality it was the match of the day for the Azeris when Rufat Ismailov came away with the gold
Ismailov,
medal
that was
in
an
the under
amazing-
81 kilo category.
Amazing final. And definitely the match of the day, wasn't it?
Yeah, Said Malay was gracious in defeat, the Iranian, although he was steamrolling him in the last 40 seconds. And if truth be told, Ismailov was just hanging on, you know, by the skin of his nails there.
Well, the Iranian is someone to watch. He was very impressive for me yesterday, and someone that will be round about those medals very quickly.
Single Shido
Now,
picked
but-
up. Oh, that's
lovely
it.
Uchimata.
I wish we could go back to the previous contest and say what it is that is ailing Nabali, and we've waited for so long. When he was a junior, he would do that on such a
Yes.
regular basis that we thought, okay, this is it. This boy is going to be absolutely, you know, the business. And then he has seemed to go lukewarm, and yet against a player of the quality of Noel van der End, he can come up with that kind of finish.
Oh, that was just-
Absolutely
that
made
was
it look
lovely.
simple, didn't he?
That was very, very nice. So you'll see the highlights of that. Nabal, as that left hand goes over the top, you could see him. He was doing that throughout the contest. That left side didn't get as deep through as he wanted to, but he just clipped the inside of that calf. Oh, he took the leg right
Outside,
across on
right
the
out.
outside.
Yeah. Really, I mean,
Looked from this angle that it was the Uchimata.
it almost ends up like Ashiguruma. You look at it here.
Hooks
Oh.
in with the. That's where it was
You
hooking
know?
in with the Ochi. He hooked that leg, spread the legs, and then stepped across.
Now, for me, I'm going to say his intention is to throw here with Harai Goshi, but he doesn't catch him up on the
No.
leg in the traditional way, and he ends up throwing him right down at the ankle. For me, that doesn't make it a different technique. It's the intention of a Tori when he's going through that action. But he just catches him low down on the ankle there, and you at home can go to your dictionaries and your judo sources and work that one out for yourselves. But I thought it was beautiful. Whipped him right over, and there was no hesitation from the referee as he signalled upon a Superman does fly.
And without the cape.
Oh dear. We're a little bit more relaxed during the first part of the day. I wouldn't have come up with that in the second half of the show, but we're a little bit more relaxed. And I know everyone at home knows anyway that we like Noel van der End. He's a big favourite of ours, but once in a while you're going to go over and you're going to get caught. And
It looks like some of the Baku tape has landed on the
Yeah.
head.
let's pull the tape off.
Safkuli.
He's got it all over his leg now, look. I'll have to do that for the final block when they are.
Safkuli, he's got it all over his judo trousers.
Now, I know we talk about wrapping your opponent up.
But that's a little bit ridiculous,
Yes.
isn't it?
Having a laugh, mate. Single score, but Bozbayev leads by Wazari with a little under 3 minutes left to go. Kazakh in the white judogi, Azeri in blue, as an Uchimata. He just manages to get the right. I mean, I've never seen that kind of avoidance. The right leg goes almost up over the shoulder of his opponent. But he was falling off it, and it made it easy to come up with that kind of defence. Look for the Koso Tagaki, that didn't come off, and now he's bent over. There's the Sumigeishi.
Sumigeishi. Nicely executed there.
Orozhov thinks it's Ippon. Is Orozhov going to get one of those honorary referee certificates, I wonder? No, he's not. It was Wazari. Thanks for coming. Take your seat. He's got a few years left in him on the mat before he takes up any refereeing duties. And given that last decision, I think we'll leave him for a while. We won't put him into the referee's exam quite yet.
No,
Nice technique though.
it's beautiful.
Zbayev picks up Shido. Here it is, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, down on the side.
Yeah.
sorry, Rustam, we're going to have you down here and take that badge back. Just as well these are in English. You won't talk to me if it was in Azeri, would you?
It's probably not. You'd.
Yeah. It's all in good fun.
The cards are marked.
Yeah, it's friendly banter. A Wazaria piece then. Bozbayev and
Still
Safguliev.
very Bozbayev is not looking as engaging as he did at the earlier start of this match. And Safguliev, you see both now, the heads are starting to go, they're both starting to tire, and a Shido is going to be awarded to both. As you can see there now, Bozbayev there with the 2 Shidos, 1 Wazari. Safguliev there with 1. Was a lovely Kochigari there from Bozbayev. Now he's starting to look for an opportunity down in the Niwaza. Not quite sure what there is down there, but the clock ticks away quite nicely, so possibly just a rest. Attempt there of a drop Sienegi, not as convincing. Well, 35 seconds. Both athletes are starting to look very tired, and the techniques are starting to suffer.
And with 2 penalties on the board, you don't want to give them an opportunity to not trigger you, but you know.
And he's just got over a half a minute left, and so he's got to be very careful there with 2 Shidos on the board. Bozbayev leaning onto his opponent, really not engaging too much, both very negative, but Safguliev takes the second Shido. Now that's really surprising. I thought that a Shido was going to go to both, which would have meant that Bozbayev would have been Hansokimakid out of this contest. Very surprised with that. There's a drop, continuing to drive, nice
score, yeah.
That was a lovely score.
Safguliev gave it a good go right at the end there. Couldn't come up with the score. He fancied finishing it before they went into the golden score period.
Safguliev is looking slightly stronger of the 2 now at this stage.
I know that immediately after this contest, Loretta and I are going to do a little bit of a wrap-up on what we've seen this morning. So Loretta's busy preparing some notes and names for our goodbye to camera. We'll have that in we'll have that whenever Bozbayev and Safguliev decide that they've had enough, but not quite yet. They're battling away. 22 seconds into the golden score period. It can go on for as long as they like. Either someone will score, or one or other of the fighters will be penalised. As though it's all over, I'm afraid. Who looks happier as they stand there waiting for Frank Wolf to give out his decision on it? They both look good. That's because we're continuing, just tidying up the geese then. Rosaria piece. As I said earlier, first to score or whosoever picks up the next penalty. Little attempt at Tanio Toshi. There was a big stretch. Didn't get round the back. Unfortunately for him, he only succeeded in doing the splits, and now it comes through. Marotta Sienagi it is! Over goes Safguliev. He came up with a second attack. First, Tanio Toshi was a little bit weak, but he came straight back with a strong Morote Seoinage that Savkuliev couldn't fend off. And the hard-working Bozbayev, it is, who comes up with the score. Well done to him. He did work hard. And absolutely spent at the end as well. Islam Bozbayev of Kazakhstan goes into the final of the under 90 kilo category. Now, it is possible, I don't know, I'm going to put Loretta on the spot here. I hope that's not going to be...
Always put me on the spot.
It's not going to be too bad. But what we'll do is we'll have a look and see what scribbling we've been able to come up with as far as who it is that we're going to see in the final block. It doesn't matter because it's all online for you anyway. You can see it at ipon.org. You can get all of that information. But for those of you that have stayed with us and either got your feet up or having a coffee or you're too lazy to click on ipon.org yourselves, let's see what have we got then? What have we got
right,
for
well,
them? Do you want to have a look at the 78 kilo category first?
Under 78 kilos, well, it's going to be a Dutch final, so Holland's going to win.
Right.
We know that.
Now, yesterday, I warned you yesterday, there was a chance for you to earn a little bit of money. You didn't follow Loretta's pick when she said the Azeri was going to win, and he did. Now, there you have it, right? Dutch fighter is going to win, and what a battle that is going to be, because as I said earlier on, we've got a known healthy respect. I'm not going to say dislike. They have a healthy respect
it's going to be
for each other.
It's definitely going to. There's no love lost between these two young ladies, and hopefully they will be ladies out there. But we've got obviously all Dutch final. There will be a gold and a silver going back to Holland. We know that. But which one will it be? My gut feeling, Stenhuis. I think she's a little bit younger. She's much more determined. She's had a better performance throughout. There's been obviously Verk has got that experience. She's 31 years of age, where Stenhuis is 24. So that's that physical maturity and experience. But I think the younger one will come through.
I'm going to go for Stenhuis as well. I think Loretta's made really good points about it, and I'm going to make a couple of points, I suppose, that got zero to do with judo and all to do with Stenhuis's personality, and maybe a little bit to do with Martin de Verkerk. You know, Martin de Verkerk won the World Championships back in 2009. Where are we now? You know, we're 2017.
Exactly.
It's a long way off. We've got, as Loretta said, a young, hungry athlete who probably still smarting from being higher ranked than her teammate, but not being given the nod to go to the games. I think she was number 2 or 3 in the world, was Husha Stenhuis.
That's correct.
Didn't get to go to the game. She's still smarting from that. And here is, I don't think this is about revenge or anything. I think this is about making a mark and saying, it's my turn now. You've had your turn. It's my turn now. Got nothing to do with the judo. That's just a personal observation.
If you were Dutch judo, you've got 4 years in preparation for the Olympic Games. When you look at even just at the age, 24 years of age, should be roughly about sort of 27, 28. Great age
for that weight
to be hitting ideal for a medal at that sort of stage. Where when you look at Verek, she's 31. She'll be 35 years of age. Is that a possibility? Yeah, anything's possible. Yeah. Anything's possible, but realistically, where are you going to put all your resources and support in?
Plus 78.
Plus 78. Well, we've got another young Dutch lady that's in there. So the Dutch have been doing extremely well today.
Tessie Savelkuls,
who's in the final with
Kayra Sayet from Turkey. She was originally from France, and she fought for France as a French fighter under a different name, but now fighting for Turkey. And this one, I mean, we saw it in a previous contest where she just had that little bit more, the throwing skills. Tessie Saville-Cools is a different proposition as far as the physical makeup of the athlete is concerned.
Very strong
and she's a
athlete,
little
yes.
bit quicker
Yes.
than most of them. And I think if she can do two things, keep up the tempo, don't stand still for 1 minute. You don't want to be standing still with a thrower like Kara Seyit, because she will bury you. So if she can keep the Turkish fighter on the move and keep the tempo of the contest up,
Yes.
you may find that she'll wear her down
She's
a
had
little
a really tough ride to this final. She's been really challenged, and she's beaten Seric, who was the number one seed,
yeah.
to get to that semi-final. But also, when you look at Yamakawa, who's there, and who obviously Seric beat her, but the players were there.
They were in the background.
That was the tough draw that she came through. So, but can't take it away from Seyit. She's 29 years of age. She has that little bit more maturity, experience. She's 5th at the Olympic Games in Rio, and she's European champion.
Let's take a look at the under 90 kilo category then.
Well,
no Superman.
Well, no Superman, but we have an Azerbaijan who's going to be Superman. Will he follow in the footsteps of the under 81 kilo gold medalist?
So that is our under 90 kilo category final then. It's Islam Bozbayev and Mamadali Mediev. That's the final. Bozbayev and Mediev. We've got Kazakh and Azeri going head to head there. What about in the under 100 kilo category?
Well, Gazimov is obviously got to be the top favourite, isn't he? Number one seed, 2 in the world ranking.
Mickey Corral, how's he been looking
he's been
today?
Good. He's been looking very good. He's 23 years of age. Well, they've all been.
He got caught as well.
They've all been looking very good, as I must say. And
I'm going to tell him that when I see him in the war.
Who am I to complain?
Loretta says you look good.
Judo was fabulous, and they looked good doing it. So
right, Gazimov and Corral. We've got one other weight category in the plus 100. We haven't seen a great deal.
Plus 100 has been actually very interesting. And we have Tushishvili of Georgia.
Guram Tushishvili is the man.
He's 22 years of age. He got 5th place in the Grand Slam. And
107 kilos. Incredible.
He's a strapping athlete, isn't he? Yeah. A young lad that's coming through, very determined. He's got it all to gain and nothing to lose. So for me, he's a real threat.
I think Borbana is the perfect
30
opponent.
Years of age?
He's the perfect opponent for him. Bor, from time to time, it's hot and cold with Bor, and I think that Tushishvili, because of the size, this is a good matchup. It's not one of the really big, heavy ones. At 127, he's given away 20 kilos. I bet he gives away that all the time. It's not Rafael Silva at 165 or Kokori at 143, Hussein at 145, 137 for Chulum. It's not those big guys. But he's not that far away from him.
Bora, there's that physical maturity. He's 30 years of age. He's 8 years his senior to the Georgian. And when you look at the impressive record that this man has,
your pick?
His best time. Do you know what? I'm going to go for the youngster.
I'm going to go for the youngster.
I think he's got nothing to lose.
Absolutely.
I think he's fought really gutsy out there.
He's coming to it
he's
fresh.
Confident.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's got that little bit of a swag about him. He's got that confidence oozing from him. And do you know what? He wants this.
There's one other thing that we haven't mentioned that probably counts in his favour. He's Georgian.
Well, he's got some tough randoris when he goes home, doesn't he? So that's the one good thing about there's real depth in the heavyweights in Georgia. So he's never lost for a quality fight, is he?
We're going to be back at 5 o'clock when we bring you all the medal matches on the final day of competition at the Baku Grand Slam here at the Heder Aliyev Arena. But from Loretta Kusak-Doyle and myself, it's bye-bye for now.
Goodbye.